YouTube family, what's the word, man? I hope everybody's been well. I appreciate y'all for stopping by the video. Yo, before this new year ends, dog, I want to say thank y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. We ended up hitting 200 subs. We couldn't have did that shit without y'all, bro. I'm giddy as fuck. I'm not gonna hold you. This shit is so cool to me. I decided to take YouTube seriously about like a month or so ago, and I didn't expect it to go the way it has been going. It hasn't been like the fastest growth, but it's been a steady growth, and it's something I'm appreciative of. So thank y'all from the bottom of my fucking heart for 200 subs, man. Hopefully we can keep the train going and things of that nature. But yeah, man, thank y'all for real. But on the topic at hand, man, I have a different type of video for y'all. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna change my scene real quick because we are going to be doing a reaction video, right? So, in this video, we're going to be reacting to one of the homies' video. His name's Johnny Salami, right? If y'all haven't already or don't know about him, haven't heard of him, please go ahead and check him out for sure. He plays sparkingzero and he plays a lot of other games as well. Marvel Rivals being one of the bigger things that he's into. And so if y'all like content like that, sparkingzero and or Marvel Rivals, definitely go give him a check out, bro. He's good people, good vibes. I fucks with bro heavy. You know what I mean? But he ended up making a video and I had to hit him up like, yo, bro, can we do a reaction to this? And he gave me the thumbs up. He said, man, go ahead, have at it. Give me 1 second. My dog over here whining and shit. All right, I'm back. So yeah, he ended up posting this video a day ago. Actually, I watched it the day he dropped it, and I haven't watched it again since. So some of the points I still remember, but not exactly. And so this is something that we're gonna go ahead and get into, see what points he had to make, and you know, leave our opinions on it. First off, I do want to say this is not to bash any opinions of his or anything like that. Everybody is welcome to have their own opinions. All right. So if I can give respect like that, y'all can do the same thing in the comments. All right. Y'all ain't got to be crazy about it if y'all don't agree with them, but we can hold those discussions. All right. I know y'all not like that. That's not the community that we've built. But for anybody who's new who ends up stopping by here, we're not doing all the negativity shit. This is just for discussions. All right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and check out this video. We're going to start it. I'm going to turn up the volume. All right. And we're going to see what it is that the points he has to make. And then, you know, I'll be making my points as far as how I feel about it. Y'all can do the same thing, both in his comments and in mine. You know what I mean? So let's have some decent ass discussions. All right. I know yapped long enough. We already going to be yapping some more. Let's get into this joint.
Yo, what's good, dudes? It's your boy Johnny. So I wanted to spark this debate about DP battles and singles. Recently, I made a Twitter post in the sparkingzero community, and it was a poll asking people whether they prefer singles and DP. To no surprise, people chose singles. And
if y'all really want to know what I think right now, I prefer singles over DP. I have my own reasons for that. If you end up getting cheese, you don't got to deal with it for long. What's it called? I just enjoy the 1v1 aspect of fighting games. I grew up on traditional fighters, so there's just a bit of it. But if you want my answer, I prefer singles over DP, but DP has gotten better post-patch, so I will say that.
And I feel like singles is obviously the mode that most people play, and singles is fun, don't get me wrong, but I think I like DP battle more than singles, and I'm gonna explain why in this video. So this video is going to be more about a debate, whether if you like singles and DP more. I'm going to go into why I like DP, and then I'm going to read some of the comments that I got from my Twitter post, okay? So I feel like singles doesn't really take any skill to play, bro. Like, straight up. Like, let's just be real. If you are playing singles and you go into the higher ranks, you're probably going to be encountering like a lot of OP characters who just spam skills all day, right?
And he makes a valid point at the very least of saying like once you get to the higher levels, you're really just gonna run into a lot of people who are playing your OP characters, your Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, your MUIs. Whis now is in the meta. Broly has kind of slowed down in the meta now that they done nerfed his unblockable, but he's still very much in the meta with him having super armor. So obviously your Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta's now, he's in the meta. Vegito Blue. So you definitely gonna run into a lot of the same characters once you get into those higher ranks for sure. But I will say that I disagree with the point of singles not taking any skill. I think it takes skill, obviously, for you to be good at those higher levels, right? As for the people who end up only playing for those or playing with those characters that are practically carrying them, right? That you can tell the people who are using those characters and know how to use the character / know how to play the game, right? You can tell those players versus the ones who are being hard carried by a character, the ones who only want to spam wild sense, try to get off insta sparks, do your ultimates and things of that nature, and then just practically rinse and repeat. So we know the people who are actually good at the game, they actually understand the mechanics and take advantage of all of their offensive and defensive options. So we know those good players, but 9 times out of 10 he's not lying. You're gonna run into a lot of the OD ass characters in the higher ranks. But like I said, I feel like you do still need skill in order to play singles, especially if you want to be one of those people that are, like I mentioned earlier, good at the game, right? It doesn't matter what character you use. If you're good at the game fundamentally across the board with your offense and defense, then it doesn't matter what character really you pick up. It's just going to make it a matter of, is it going to be harder or not? Because the weaker your character, the less damage you do, the more damage you take, things of that nature. So it makes you have to play the game if you're playing those weaker characters or lower DP characters, if you will. Skill is still very much a thing. You need to have skill in singles, and that I feel like you don't need as much skill in DP, to be honest, because you get to fall back on mechanics like your health regen mechanic, what's it called? So practically your standby or your switch, and that's the biggest thing, right? I feel like it is. All right, my bad. My wife called me. I got food on the way. She ended up stepping out. Let's get back to the video.
Playing against that is not fun, in my opinion. Like, it's not really me complaining, it's just an opinion that I'm having.
Hey, no, it's not fun. I'm making a video right now, and from when I went to get Super Saiyan Vegeta early to Z rank, and I crashed out. I crashed out. I ended up fighting, I think, like 4 or 5 fucking Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, bro, in a row. And then my reprieve was MUI. Like, this shit was dumb. And so, no, I understand. After a while, it doesn't get fun because you're just playing the same fighting style over and over again. You know what people are fishing for. And it's even worse when the connection is bad. Don't get me started on that. But if the connection is good, I can kind of deal with it. If it ain't, god damn it, bruh. Nah, fuck that. But go ahead. We'll get back to it.
I'm constantly having to worry about, oh, I'm going to run into a MUI, or I'm going to run into a Gogeta, or somebody that's going to body me because I'm using base Vegeta, or Kefla, or, I mean, not Kefla, Caulifla, or whoever I really want to use at that moment, right? And I know I'm going to get bodied because this nigga's using MUI. That's kind of an issue, you know?
And so that's my thing, right? And I feel like, yes, it is difficult, right? It is difficult to fight against those characters. Even if you do know what the game plan is, especially if you're using like a lower DP character. But at least it's for me, right? I can only speak for myself, and I don't know if any of y'all may feel the same way. When I was really learning the game, like really sitting down and trying to understand the game, I actually enjoyed fighting them so often because I got to figure out certain nuances about those characters and how to defend against it, right? So even when using those lower DP characters, like I said, Super Saiyan Vegeta early, I got him to Z, right? I had to fight a lot of these characters because I was able to figure out early on how to say like the timing for MUI's dash rush, right? By me learning how to counter that and vanish that, like learning the frame and the timing on it, now getting away from Z Gogeta, right, and hits dash supers along with MUIs, now I have a much easier time vanishing those, right? So it's certain nuances. Another same thing, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, for instance, and countering Wild Sense. I fought so many Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas that it forced me to learn how to counter Wild Sense. You know what I mean? So if you want to get better at the game, is those things by fighting those higher level characters, those higher DP characters, you'll learn how to counter those things, and that's if you really want to get better at the game. And that's where your skill starts to be shown, especially in those higher levels. To where, like I said before, if you're using a character and they're lower DP and you're fighting a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and you watch them, now it feels that much better because you put the time in to get your ass beat practically. You took your L's for you to learn how to counter that move or whatever the case may be. So that's why I say I feel like singles does take skill. You just fight a lot of motherfuckers who don't have skill. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it.
That's not really that fun. I don't like countering against those. You'll be encountering OP characters in the beginning, in the higher ranks, and it's pretty annoying because to counter OP character, you kind of need to use an OP character, right?
I disagree. Using the OP character evens the playing field and makes it a bit easier, but you don't need to play an OP character in order to counter them. That's in my humble opinion. I will say this, at least in singles, when I play singles, I play with items on. I'll end up putting up a picture or something so y'all can see what my kit is. I put this kit on damn near every character. I don't use shit to make Z-Burst Dash cost nothing. I don't push it on there to make Z-Burst Dash, or not Z-Burst Dash, but to like up my damage to the highest or my supers and shit to the highest. I don't use all of that shit like that. I think I have one skill that may allow me to, increases my damage. And I have the skill for Z-Burst Dash that practically puts it back to how it was pre-patch. So that's just how I play singles with items. Obviously, a lot of people are going to use whatever the craziest meta kit they can use. I'm not trying to do that. But regardless, you can still, and there's ways for you to be able to play singles and still have fun, i.e. items is one of them. And even if you didn't play with items on, your skill still has to show, right? And at least the people who have played me in my community before already, you guys know I play with or without items. It doesn't matter to me. When I'm playing with my community, I play without items, and I still demonstrate the same level of skill that I do with items. So for anybody trying to say, oh, items are a crutch, that's only for you motherfuckers who didn't sit down and learn how to play the game. Don't put me in that basket. That's not me. It's not me, and it's not the other people that I play with in my community either, because they are actually trying to get better at the game. So yeah, nah, everybody who's trying to come over here and throw hate or shade or nothing like that, yeah, that's going straight past us. We're not worried about you.
Like, if you really, really want to like be up there in the Z ranks with all these people that's using these OP characters, right? You kind of need to use an OP character. So if you're using an OP character in singles, I'm pretty sure you'd have a good time. But if you're not, then you wouldn't. And that's all I'm saying, right? And I think most people can agree with that. In DP though,
I can for the most part. If I'm looking at it not from my perspective, right? If I get from outside of myself and open my perspective to the broader populace of the game or the community, then he makes a very valid point. People who don't really understand the game or its mechanics or are still learning, whatever the case may be, they'll definitely have a more difficult time playing with weaker characters in the higher ranks, right? It's definitely going to be a thing. Versus if you're playing a fusion, a high DP character, a Beerus, or like I said, Broly, or whatever the case may be, you'll definitely have a much easier time with or without items. It's just how it is. If you're running up, like I said, you running up against a lower DP character and you running Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, for instance, nigga, you're squishy as fuck. You're gonna get cooked. You know what I mean? Unless, like I said, you sat down and you learned the game.
you have more chances to win. Therefore, more opportunities to counter what she's... And I think most people can agree with that. In DP though, you have more chances to win. Therefore, more opportunities to counter what the opponent is doing to you. I understand the argument of if you know the cheese is gonna happen, just counter the cheese. That's a good point. However, I think it is important to note, bro, that everyone plays differently in this game.
So as far as the cheese is concerned, it doesn't, like, this is my thing. When it comes to cheese, you can sit down and you can learn how to counter it. I sat down and learned how to counter a lot of the cheese in the game. That doesn't mean you're not gonna get hit with the cheese. That doesn't mean you're impervious to it now. It's still gonna fucking happen. There's too many outliers. Like he said, somebody may have a different way of pulling the cheese off that you've never seen before. People's connection. We know the net code on this damn game is bad. Shout out Prez. He just made a video talking about the trash ass net code. Like it's different things like that, bro. Like that. It's definitely, you're not impervious to cheese even if you learn the counters. If by you learning how to counter the cheese, only thing that you did was practically give you more of a fighting chance against it, right? You upped your percentage of being able to win. You didn't give yourself 100% chance. There's still other things you got to take into account. That person can end up knowing the cheese and cheesing you, but also be good at the game. I hate those people because it's like, why the fuck are you doing that? If you're good at the game, play the game. Stop trying to manipulate and exploit shit. That's neither here nor there. But you can't, even if you know the counter, it doesn't mean that you're going to counter it every time, right? DP does give you more chances to get away from the cheese, but this is to Johnny's point as well. Even though DP gives you more chances to counter the cheese, at least to me, I'd rather deal with fighting somebody who's cheesing me in singles, right? And that fight lasts a minute or two versus me dealing with somebody who got a full team stacked of cheese, right? And now I got to deal with that shit for damn near 10 minutes. That's the part about DP that blows me and bothers me, right? Even if I know the counter to Wild Sense, if somebody puts a team full of Wild Sense characters, like they got a squad, nothing but Wild Sense characters, bro, I'm not going to counter every Wild Sense he popped, bro. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. I'm going to counter a lot of them, but I'm not going to counter all of them. And at least for me personally, I use 3 characters 9 times out of 10. Most I may have is 4. And so, I mean, shit, I can end up really, out of all of those times, if somebody's constantly popping Wild Sense, hey, look, what they say, if you shoot 1,000 threes, you may end up missing a lot of them motherfuckers, but you're gonna hit some of them, you know. So that's how I feel.
And the predictability for your opponent and what you're gonna play against them can throw you off if you're not prepared. Like, they're not really gonna be playing all the same type of play styles all the time, and it could catch you off guard sometimes. It'll make you lose points, and it'll make you lose points if you're not ready against the cheese that you're actually going against. You get what I'm trying to say?
Spend time learning how to fight the cheese. If you're going into ranked, this is just me, and like I said, this is not a shot or anything at all at Johnny or anybody else, right? If you're going to play ranked, expect people to play scummy. Expect people to do whatever it takes to win. Expect people to play with no honor. Expect it, because you got a lot of motherfuckers who play this game and the only thing that matters to them is the dub and getting that little PNG, that red Z PNG next to their name. That's all motherfuckers care about. They don't care how the fuck they do it. They just want to get that shit. So you have to expect that. Also expect a skill disparity. You're gonna run into people who are just, they may not be cheesing you. They may not be even using like a high tier character, but even if they are, you can still expect and understand when there's a skill disparity. This dude is better than me. It is what it is. Either I'm gonna fight him again or I'm gonna not fight him again because I don't want to lose my points. That's just all it is.
So the cheese is there. The cheese is obviously counter. You know how to counter the cheese, but it's more of the fact that if you're not prepared to know what type of play style they're going for and you lose and they don't rematch you, there you go. You just lost your whole chance. I don't like that at all.
You lost your chance for the fight, that fight in particular, but you lost. Now that's your opportunity now to sit down and see what it was that actually made you lose, right? And this is what a lot of people don't tend to do. I'm not saying that Johnny doesn't do this, but a lot of people don't do this. They just lose and then they just chalk it up as like, oh, he cheesed me, that's it. Why did the cheese work? Look into it and see why it worked. What were you doing that allowed them to be able to get the cheese off? What were they doing that they were able to guarantee that they got their cheese off? And then what can you do to counter it? These are the mental notes that you have to take. And this also plays into how you develop a read and react play style. Once you see somebody do something once, right? Say like you're in the middle of fighting in a neutral, and instead of throwing hands with you, they say, fuck it. They jump back and now I'm about to do a dash super. Oh, okay, I know that this person is willing to do that now. Now when we're playing and I'm fighting somebody, we can be in the neutral. Let me pay attention to their ki. Or they got enough to do a super or something like that. Let me be a little patient because I know I've been beating his ass in the neutral for the past 15 seconds. And he probably tired of that shit. So he gonna do something to get that damage back. These are the things that you start paying attention to, right? And so that would be my argument, I say to that.
All right, there's a plus side to singles that I feel like makes it a big positive, and I feel like that the matches go by a lot quicker.
Yes, they do.
It makes singles more engaging, and fighting people quicker makes you want to stay on for long periods of time and just farm, right? I get it. It makes you want to just stay on and keep ranking up for a while. Crazy. You can make it to the higher ranks in singles pretty quickly, bro, if you know how to play well enough and just farm. I've made it from like B5 to S5, back to B5 to S5, also like so many times. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to, right? You can make it to like those higher ranks pretty quick. I feel like
he not lying. I made it from C5 in singles. This is with that same Vegeta I just got to Z. And that's not the only character I got to Z, y'all. I got Goku Black and Gogeta Blue, both to Z rank on different accounts. But if you know what you're doing, yeah, you can practically speed run your way to the higher ranks in singles. That you definitely can.
Appeal is that so many people are on singles, and the fact that matches don't take like 5 years to, one, find, and two, finish, makes more people want to try to get into action more. Therefore, people are in singles a lot more and playing singles a lot more. It is good for engagement, don't get me wrong. Like I said, if you're trying to get to the higher ranks in singles, you get it pretty quick.
My bad, y'all. My daughter came in asking for something.
Ranks in singles, you get it pretty quickly doing stuff like that, right? However, the thing is with singles is that, like I said, you couldn't rely too heavily on cheesy stuff, which would be like skills and supers, and that gets the game over with pretty quickly. If you're like want to throw hands and somebody's just spamming supers, the game will go by quick.
Counter argument: play with items. Put the health items on, boost your dude's stuff. You'll be able to survive a bit longer. Those little skirmishes turn into Dragon Ball Z episodes now. It's pretty fun. If you ask me, it's pretty fun. Take the time to just sit down and learn. Look at the items, y'all. I feel like that'll give y'all a different take or look. And if you just don't care for items at all, those games can go by quicker. But my counter argument to that would be learn how to counter a lot of this extra stuff, namely wild sense. And I think you'll be pretty well off. There's also counter picks. You do have character counter picks. You don't have to pick a specific character, but now you can look at their kits, right? So if you know damn well that people like to instant spark all the time, pick somebody who has instant transmission. If you are not comfortable in countering wild sense yourself, like just snap vanishing it or rush vanishing it. Rush vanishing being where you tap square once to 2 times, hit R1 to vanish behind the person. When you know they got wild sense pop, you'll be able to counter the wild sense. So if you're not accustomed to doing things like that, or you just don't feel comfortable in doing that stuff yet, pick a character who has after image and or wild sense yourself. These are ways that can make it a bit easier for you. You know what I mean? And if the characters that you really want to play don't have those things, then my suggestion is get in the lab. Stop being lazy and get in the lab. Like I said, there's no shots at all to anybody, but this is a part of gaming, right? That I think a lot of people have tend to lose over time. You have to lab shit. This ain't a game where you can just sit down and not do anything, right? So you definitely have to learn this shit.
Unlike DP, which like if you know what's going to happen and you get hit with something, unfortunately you couldn't counter it, you have time to reevaluate your strategy and switch out. Some people think switching out is like a scary bitch move. I don't know. I don't think that is. I think that makes things more fair, if you really ask me.
So I don't believe that switching out is a bitch thing to do. for whatever reason, I don't know why people go to DP and get mad at people when they swap characters out. That's the point of the game mode, right? To his point as well, it also does give you time to kind of try to reevaluate how you're going to deal with somebody's cheese in DP, because you have more time in the match. Obviously, you have more characters. So to his point, yes, this definitely a factor in this, right? I really don't think I even have a counter argument or anything to it at all. So no, it's pretty fucking solid. Like you are able to wait out or reevaluate how you want to do things in DP. And then make adjustments accordingly. But I guess, like I said earlier, sometimes depending if it's all situational, right? If somebody's connection is bad, or if the cheese is just something you haven't encountered before yet, like by the time you figure it out, it may be too late. It's just one of them things, man.
Have more chances to live. If you get hit with a cheesy ass ultimate or super that you knew you could have fucking vanished or something, just happened to not because of the input.
Get down. Come on, man. Everybody's been interrupting me while I've been sitting here trying to record. Get down. Go lay down. No, we're not playing right now.
Or whatever. Then you get another chance to switch out. You get what I'm trying to say? So it gives you more opportunity to have in winning, basically. So I feel like that's a really good point when it comes to DP, bro. Because people like I said, heavily rely too much on cheesy stuff to win in this game, and it's just sometimes you get what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you'll get hit with it because the connection will be bad. With stuff like that, switching out, bro, that shit's a lifesaver, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. Another good point.
That's what I was gonna say. DP, in my opinion, actually doesn't take as much skill as singles does, and the reason why I say that is in DP actually you have more factors that are involved in it, right? You're switching out mechanic, team composition, and so I think that your tactics play a bigger factor in DP than skill does, right? That doesn't mean that skill is a non-factor in DP, but I don't believe that the factor for skill is as high as it is for tactics and team composition in DP, and so that's how I feel about it. Some of you may end up feeling differently, but when it comes to things of that nature, I feel like that's what it is. You need to have better tactics. Your team composition has to be on point. If you're somebody who is of high skill, your skill can get you through a lot in DP, but as soon as you come up against, say, like a DP demon, practically somebody who's been staying on that sounded crazy as fuck. DP demon sounded insane. But what's up, baby?
Point with DP is that with DP you can practice weaker characters, and you could be more skilled with the weaker ones than resorting to having to use OP characters to win, right? Because the DP system kind of forces you to lock in other characters, like weaker characters, if you want like a real chance of winning. You could win with like a good fucking Whis and like 2 DPs in your team, or like a good 5, whatever. But it's more smarter to like have like a Goku, Vegeta, and like more backup on your team. You get what I'm trying to say? So
yeah, DP allows you to experiment with a lot of different characters that you probably wouldn't play with otherwise, or those characters that probably would get smoked in singles if you was just to run them in singles, right? Obviously those characters that, well, you don't see them too much now, but like your Roshis, your Videls, your Cybermen, you know, things of that nature. You're able to sell juniors. You're able to run those characters a bit more now, and DP more so than you would in singles. Even characters like the Z fighters, right? Your Krillins, Yamchas, Tiens, things of that nature. So if you see them in singles, know that you probably running into a demon. Like he's cold. He knows the game. He know what the hell he got going on. But if you see him in DP, they're a little bit more common because you get to experiment and actually run with those characters and have fun, especially if those are characters that you like, right? So
practicing weaker characters, not just Goku and Vegeta, but I'm also talking about maybe like Tien or like, you know, good lower DP characters. DP battle makes you actually learn that a lot better, in my opinion. Some people could disagree, but because of the fact that you play so many characters at once, that's really good. I will say this though, singles will make you better with one specific character, and you'll learn like all the little nuances behind that said character. For example, like if you want to pick up Kid Buu and you pick up on how his combo game works, his regeneration, his supers and stuff like that, it's gonna be different than when you pick up Metacooler and play his zoner type of playstyle, because he's like staying back and he doesn't really charge and stuff like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's fair. That's fair. Singles, you will get to sit down, and because you're going to spend more time with that character, you'll be able to sit down and really learn the ins and outs. Yeah, that's a fair point. And DP, I mean, if you, depending on if you're running DP, right, and you're running the same team all the time, like this is your team, you love this team comp, it's the same thing though, honestly. You get to sit down and learn those ins and outs of those characters. You maybe not learn them as quickly because you're swapping through characters a lot, but over time you'll end up learning those characters as well. And that's just all it is. You have to spend time with characters in order to learn how to play with them more efficiently and more effectively, right? That's what anything, and that's a part of labbing. That's a part of just putting them out there and ranked and going up against actual people. So I can agree with that point.
So for you to pick up those characters and learn them, it's a lot easier to master that character in singles. So think about it like this: it's good to learn. It's DP allows you to learn multiple characters, but singles allows you to master that one character that you want to really be good at. And I will say that, right? And I kind of wanted to just go over those points, and I feel like those are really strong points of why I feel like both DP and singles have positives and negatives. You may disagree, and that's okay. You could leave your thoughts about how I feel in the comments below. But for the rest of the video, I'm gonna go on to Twitter, and then I'm gonna read what some of the community has to say, and I guess I'll give some of my takes at that as well.
All right, so we're really gonna end the video here. Like I said, I believe that singles is the preferred mode because of the amount of cheese that you have to deal with isn't as much. To Johnny's points, you're able to get into a lot of matches way faster. You're able to practically not have to deal with if you're in a bad situation, or as far as like you're fighting a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that's spamming Wild Sense, ults, and Instant Spark, you only got to deal with it for a little while versus, like I said, damn near 10 minutes. Even if it is bad, even laggy connection, I don't have to deal with it as long. I can take my L and go ahead and keep it pushing. So it's definitely a preference. This is a subjective matter through and through, right? It's definitely a preference. So nobody's right or wrong when it comes to this. It's just a matter of what people prefer, right? Like I said, I feel like DP has gotten better post-patch than it was pre-patch, because it doesn't punish people for picking only 2 character or 3 character teams anymore. So now that allows people's skill to show more so, because it's based off of either, and nobody knows really yet, but it's based off of either what's it called, your like health percentage as far as when you started your match. So it's either based off health percentage left by the end of the match, and or damage dealt. Regardless of what the case is, if you're picking a 2 character, 3 character DP team, you're no longer being punished, especially in the higher ranks, because most people are going to have those 5 DP character teams, or those 5 character teams is what I should say. So like I said, it's all subjective. This video is 30 fucking minutes long already. I didn't expect it to be that long, but actually I did. It's a reaction video. Plus I kept on getting interrupted nonstop. Don't take that the wrong way. I love my family to death. I do. It's just, I just wanted to get this done. But yo, I appreciate y'all, man. If y'all have any type of talking points that you want to put down in the comments that I haven't ended up saying already, or just some points that may not have been talked about in general or even thought of, like I said, leave them down there in the comments, man. If y'all ended up sticking around watching this entire time, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, this is one of my longer videos, so I don't expect it to do as well, but regardless, if you ended up checking it out, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. With that being said, if y'all like content like this or want more content like this, hit that sub button. That'll definitely let me know. Let me know in the comments as well if y'all want more reaction videos, and if y'all do, let me know what video and who the person is that y'all want me to react to, and I'll reach out to them just to make sure that, you know, everything is cool. I don't like just taking people's videos and just reacting to them just like off the muscle like that. So yeah, man, let me know what's going on. I've yapped long enough. We about to get the fuck up out of here. I love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. Godspeed. All right, y'all be smooth.